Mr. Javier Garat, Secretary General of Spanish Fishing Confederation, and he's also a chairman of Europêche and International Coalition for Fisheries Association, ICFA. You have the floor, please.
Buenas tardes. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I have 4 messages from the fishing industry. The first one is that fishermen care about the health of the ocean. This morning, the new Commissioner for Environment, Oceans and Fisheries from the European Commission said that we need clean and healthy oceans. I agree with that, and all that to continue feeding the world and providing wealth and employment to millions of people in the world. Fishing is not the problem. Seafood is part of the solution. According to recent research, fish has the lowest carbon footprint of any protein. And this is something that consumers need to know. If people want to help with climate change, they should eat more fish. And this is the first message: eat more fish. The second is that in the last few years, fishing industry greenhouse gas emissions have been reduced considerably, thanks to the major advances in shipbuilding and fishing technology that have made an impact on fuel consumption. Concerning shipbuilding, for instance, vessel designs and new engines make them more efficient. In Spain, for instance, since 2006, we have reduced our engine power around 56%. With reference to fishing technology, nowadays, with the sonars and with other equipments, vessels don't need to navigate so much or as much as they did before, because they are able to find the fish easier, saving a lot of fuel and avoiding emissions. Further advances are expected in both vessels and equipment to further reduce fuel consumption of fishing vessels. Apart from this, fishing vessels are collecting marine litter. We are taking from the depth of the sea, we are taking hundreds of tons of marine litter, mainly plastics. We are bringing them to the harbors, landing them there, recycling them, which is a very clear example of circular economy. And this is done by our vessels, mainly bottom trawlers. The third message is that improved fisheries management could offset many negative effects of climate change. What do we see that is happening? We see changes in the distribution of stocks, you mentioned it, changes in species interactions, changes in economic expectations for fishers, and this, I can assure you, that can create problems for management and for managers. We have a clear example on horse mackerel and what happened with Faroe Island. A few years ago, Faroe Island decided unilaterally to allocate themselves a special quota for horse mackerel, because the horse mackerel at that time was in their waters. And other contracting parties of that agreement, European Union, Norway and Iceland, mainly European Union, decided to reduce the catches because Faroe Island took the decision to unilaterally do it. So it can create management problems, and we have to find the solutions and be prepared to solve those problems. So we need to be prepared for adaptation. We need better management, mainly in those parts of the world where we have not too much data and not too much science. We talk about Southeast Asia, West Africa, and in general developing countries. So we need better international governance. I would like to say that MPA is not the magical solution. It's another management tool, but it's not the magical solution. I see that everybody around this COP25 is saying that MPAs is the solution for everything. No, the reality is that it's a management tool, a good management tool, whenever it is based on science and whenever it is needed to protect vulnerable marine ecosystems or whatever, but it's not the solution of all the problems. The solution are improved fisheries management. And then the last point, the fourth point, is we need a balance between conservation, sustainable use, food security, and livelihoods. We need to continue our efforts to ensure sustainability and guarantee an efficient exploitation. The question is, can we produce more? The answer is yes, if we end overfishing and we fish sustainably. And it's a question of trade-offs. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.